Hi everybody, Rusty here with another catch-up for Motorsport Australia. We've been doing these in recent times with all sorts of competitors from different championships, and we want to focus again on the BFGoodrich Australian Off-Road Championship. There's great community spirit amongst those competitors. Our guest today is a bit of a legend of the game, a real character as well, and I think during this COVID-19 period that beard appears to have grown even longer. G'day, Beau Robinson. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. How about you?
Not too bad. You were all packed and ready pretty much for St George, weren't you? And then we had to, if you'll pardon the pun, hit the brakes and everything.
I know. Craziness, eh? I mean, obviously everyone's been through the whole deal too, but yeah, it's just, well, pretty much ready to go on the truck, weren't we? I guess everyone was the same, just craziness. But no, it's good to catch up with you.
Were there things in the pipeline from a development point of view, from a trophy truck point of view, that were all new for you for 2020? And you know, were there some good things you were expecting?
Yeah, look, we obviously each year we do have a lot of focus, but we were pretty ready this year. You know, we were sort of getting to the end of our tether with, you know, little bits and pieces that have been happening the last couple of years, and mate, we were pretty sort of, we had houses leased in Alice Springs and all sorts of stuff to really just have a good crack at the whole show. And yeah, but obviously it wasn't to be, and everything's just sitting down there just like it's ready to go to St George. It's craziness.
Fiercely contested class that you're in, mate, and it seems as though even as we look ahead to say 2021, it's going to get even more so. I mean, Paul Wheel's been showing some pictures on social media of what he's up to. It'd be nice to see him, you know, in the game amongst you guys. It looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does look good. You're right. Yeah, there is a few new ones. Toby's got his new one coming in. Yeah, really, will be a good addition to the whole thing. They're a good family, good you know, competitive family. So yeah, we'll have a good laugh with them, no doubt. And Billy's racing again, and yeah, I think it's all happening. You know, that stuff going up in North Queensland at the moment. Yeah, it's been good the last few days. I really haven't had a lot to do with anyone. You know, it's been yeah, good watching those boys have a bit of a fight. It's good.
When you and I have caught up on occasion, either at St George or places like Finke, you've always had unbelievable speed, mate, and always been at the very pointy end. But there have been moments, obviously, of heartbreak for you where you haven't been able to convert as well. Has that been a focus for you for 2020? That's based on your first answer in this conversation. It sounds like it has been.
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously the championship was going to have Kalgoorlie at the end, which is a good thing for us. And I thought that it was a good opportunity. You know, we always go, especially Finn, go hard at it all the time. And not that we weren't going to, I suppose, but we really had a good, long, you know, talk about what it's going to take to actually make sure we finish the races. And we haven't been, how do you put it? I guess because of some of the heartbreak, I guess we would, you know, let's say we had a problem, say at St George on the first day we had a motor issue in 2018, but we didn't fix it for the second day because I thought, you know, stuff it, I can't be bothered. But in hindsight, we should have, and that's what was our big focus. We're going into this year is we want to make sure that every day mattered and every point mattered, and you know, because you get to the end of the year and all sorts of things can happen. You never know. So we've got to, that was a big thing. I mean, that will be our focus for next year too, for sure. But yeah, I think that's probably where we've lacked a little bit is just making sure that every point mattered and having a bit more of a focus on times and where we're at and not coming in 20 seconds behind. So we'll make sure we're actually right there. So yeah, a little bit more of the data side of it needs a bit more love. But mate, all in all, we were ready to roll. But I mean, it's all going to be ready for next year anyway, so it's not too big a deal.
I want to pick up on a couple of things that you've said there, if you don't mind. Firstly, Kalgoorlie. I mean, if you look back at your career, I mean, it was pretty significant what you achieved there back in 2014. You've been successful there in recent time. For Motorsport Australia licence holders and constituents that maybe aren't into off-road competition, just paint us a picture, because that's a great event, that one, isn't it?
It really is. You know, it's hard to explain to the boys, you know, sometimes. But the event that we held in 2014, that was a really good event, don't get me wrong, but it's just got better. They've got rid of some of the stuff that maybe some of the people didn't like, some of the tighter, really tight stuff. I'm sure the Can-Am boys would like that stuff, but now it's a proper desert race. And then there's still lots of tight stuff, don't get me wrong, but a lot more flowing. And I mean, in a lot of spots, the truck's not exactly the best thing there, but the boys in Kalgoorlie, the town is a very similar animal to Alice Springs. Very similar sort of a town. You know, everyone gets behind it. Same sort of work ethic behind all the guys that are from Kalgoorlie and that put the event on. So yeah, I love the joint. And you know, for us, obviously being West Australians, it's not necessarily local. It's still, you know, 7 hours away or whatever for us. But it's a good event, and it's a real championship event. Like, and to be at the end, I don't know. I guess that's a bit of a juggle for the boys that are from over east. But it would have been a real going into that last race, especially if the points were tight, it would have been a real challenge.
It's been a family affair, this kind of competition for you. What was the magnet, Beau? What got you, to fall in love with it and to, more or less immerse yourself in it?
The old boy doing it and obviously going away with him, was a lot of fun. But, the people that we've met along the way is 90% of it. The sport itself is a massive adrenaline rush. There's no question about that. But it's the people, like yourself and the boys that, we compete against over east. It's just one of those things. You can't get away from it. You're not going to just shut off from your mates. So that's probably the biggest thing for me personally. Obviously, as I said, the adrenaline rush is a big thing. But for me, it really is like the family sort of feel to the whole deal. That's a real big. And I've been feeling it this year, not sort of being in touch with everyone. It's amazing how much you miss it.
Have there been little ways that you have stayed in touch with some key mates and things like that were a part of it?
Yeah. Like I'm on the phone all the time to the boys, whether it's Greg or Matty Hansen and Brownie and Pinto and all these guys, Kittles and all those guys. We keep in touch a lot. It's been tough, hasn't it? It's been tough on everyone at least they're not literally family, at least it's not as bad as it has been for some other people. But it's been good, keep in touch and, it makes it all much sweeter when we all catch up.
Most definitely. Most people watching would love to know, when are the Robinson brothers going to ride again, mate? When are you guys going to compete against one another again?
Yeah, look, I don't know. We were sort of tossing up some stuff. Trav and I have been tossing up some stuff for the last couple of years. But, I guess Trav's got a couple of little young kids and I've got a little one as well. So we're sort of in that sort of throes of just, settling our lives down a little bit, try and take a bit of take it a notch back, I suppose. And then, we'll come in swinging properly, A couple of identical cars is probably the way to go. In recent years, we've sort of been, carrying double the amount of spares we need to and all that stuff. So we need to really sit back and have a good think about it. And whatever we do, we'll come in swinging. There'll be no doubt about that.
It's always a joy to drop in and see you guys for two reasons. The truck is always, from a preparation standpoint, immaculate. And so is the transporter and all that side of things. Are there things that you draw on from other areas of motorsport that filter into your operation like that?
I don't know. I suppose, the preparation side of it, I guess, to be honest, we've always been on top of it, I suppose. But in the real early years when we started running the turbo cars and we probably had 3 cars, we've learned obviously a lot over the years. But, we knew that at 3 cars we were stretching ourselves too thin. So then it was 2. And then, we're having these little breakages that really stepped up our preparation. Of late, we've had dramas, but it's always out of our hands of the last maybe 3 or 4 years, and that's probably what's the most heartbreaking about it, because before we could blame ourselves, but now it's nothing to do with the boys, nothing to do with us, so that's probably the biggest thing. But I guess, you go to the V8 Supercar events, or you go out, you go to the States with the boys, and you go and visit the Herps workshop, one of those things. It's like these things are they're bigger than a V8 Supercar team. Go to Herps, it's better than freaking Triple Eight. It's craziness. So you come back from there, you go, well, that's what makes everyone successful, and being neat and tidy and all that sort of stuff. At least with the cars and the transporter and the boys. Eventually it will show in the results. Look at Renchi. It's a perfect example. You can eat off the floor of his truck and his workshop, and it shows in results. Neat and tidy, and same with his driving. So it's it all comes together like that, I suppose.
Now, look over your shoulder for us and give us a bit of a description of those 2 awesome pictures. One looks like Fink, but just paint or fill in the details for us. Come on.
Yeah, well, this one behind me, I'm just at the office at work, but this one's at Fink in 2012 before we ended it. And this one here is at, that's at Hayden in when is that? That's 2011 at Hayden, at the national round at Hayden. And that's about 5 minutes before we, for an alternator failed.
In both cases, mate, the pictures illustrate your trademark, and that is 11/10, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yet, when I drop in to speak to you sometimes, the crew will tell me, oh, if we're at Fink or at Patchouli, oh, no, he's having a sleep. He's having a little lie down.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even get that worked up really even before. I don't know what the deal is with that. And the boys, we talk about that a little bit, and that's something like Huddy, my navigator, him and I always talk about, what could make us better. And, there's probably a bit of room and all that. I've never been much into all the, I guess, what do you want to call it, the psychology of the whole thing. But me, it's sort of, you know, it's kind of, as long as it's nice and fun and we're having a good time, that's all that matters. And most of the time, the car's right on point, so we just go and push it to the limit, you know. But yeah, I'm not too phased by it all, really, in that regard.
I'm glad you brought up Finke too, because there's probably this is not the right line for it, but it's maybe a little bit of a love-hate thing for you, because it's such an amazing event, and it's the one, mate, that you want, isn't it?
I know. Tell you what, that's probably something, I know it's crazy, out of everything that we've missed out on this year, and whether it's racing, family stuff, whatever it is, I haven't missed a Finke since 1992, not one. So, like, to me, that's been crazy, not catching up with all the boys in Alice Springs. You know, you can imagine, like, I was literally, what was I, 3, 4? I was 4 years old or something. Craziness. So, yeah, that's been a big, I was pretty, and especially the last few years, we spent a lot of time up there. In previous years, you'd go up maybe 3 or 4 days before the race. You'd do the race, you'd come home. Lately, the last maybe 4 or 5 years, we're up there weeks, months beforehand, you know, back and forth, pre-running, and, you know, we got sheds up there and everything now, you know, like, so we spent a lot of time in Alice Springs over the years. So yeah, that's been a big shock. But I think, yeah, it's just eluded us that badly, you know. It's just, yeah, it's getting to be on a joke. I mean, I've said that a few times, but, you know, the last few years, maybe 2012, 2013, that was our fault. I threw them away. They're both crashes. You know, that's our fault. So there's nothing you can do about that. You know, we've had times where, like, Travis and I qualified first and second there in 2010. You know, that again, that was a car failure stuff. Look, it's just never ending. You know, Trav's led there, 4 times and broken. Like, it's just craziness, you know. But it's good fun. Keeps coming back. You know, like, obviously he's got a bit much for Trav at the moment. It just got ridiculous. That last break there in what year was that? 2017, when he led on the way home and had a power steering pump failure. It was brand new on the way back. Nothing you can do about that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it's a tough event, but as we all know, it's the one on the calendar that everyone wants to win. So that's why we just keep going back, don't you, I suppose?
Yeah, definitely. Your luck is due for a change, mate, I think. And I think, too, that a bit of that, based on this conversation, is that you make your own luck, and it's the way I say you're going to tackle it in 2021. That's pretty clear.
Exactly, yeah, I'm with you. We're going to get there in 2021, you reckon?
I hope so. Fingers crossed. I want to know, before we wrap up this phone call, though, come on, this Zoom chat, I should say, where is the finish line for the beard? Come on, is there a target for the...
I had a little haircut the other day. It's not too bad. Yeah, I know, it's crazy, isn't it?
It's been fabulous to chat with you and to reminisce and look forward at the same time. And here's to hopefully a better back end of 2020 and an even more exciting 2021.
Yeah, perfect. Very nice to speak to you too, mate.
There he is, Beau Robinson. All right, that wraps up the latest of our catch-ups. Lots of things happening in your particular state. So to stay up to date with the latest and for the current facts on state-based events, make sure you go to the official website for Motorsport Australia, motorsport.org.au. See you soon.